Hello there, you're very welcome along. We are live from number 22 in Dublin, and you're very welcome along to the Off the Ball Facebook page, or if you're watching us on Twitter or YouTube. We're delighted to have you with us as we look ahead to the return leg against Denmark on Tuesday night. As you can see from our fancy gear, we're here with thanks to Benetti Menswear. You can check out benetti.ie for more. And they've also given us a signed jersey, signed Irish jersey no less, signed by the players in the last few days. And the jersey goes to whoever has the best comment or question over the next 45 minutes or so. The best question will be picked by producer JP, so that's how it's going to work. To look ahead to the game, very excited to say we are joined by two Irish legends who both have their own playoff stories. We have Jason McAteer and we have Stephen Hunt here. Lads, you're both very welcome. Great to have you.
Joe,
Evening.
how are you?
Stephen Hunt has never looked so smart.
Joe, I was going to say the same thing about yourself.
No, we look unbelievable.
Yes.
Before we carry on, Joe, I just want to say them socks are the worst socks I've ever seen in my life. And they are not Benetti.
I should point out the socks are not Benetti.
No, they're not.
They're my own doing, but the rest I'm quite happy with.
You look $1 million.
Thank you. So, questions in for the lads. Best question gets an Irish jersey. So, very simple. We're going to chat here about playoffs and how we're going to go on Tuesday. So, your own playoff experiences. I had not realised. I was going to talk to you about Iran. I did not realise you were there for Anfield against Holland.
Is that because I'm so young, fresh-faced?
You use your
just
moisturiser.
couldn't picture me back in '96.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was. I've got to be honest. I didn't go through the qualifiers in '94. I literally just jumped on the plane and went to the World Cup.
Yeah.
So obviously going through the campaign in '96, I realised that it was 2 years of hard work, and then obviously to get to the playoff against Holland, where we were laughing before at the team that was actually fielded, the Dutch team, Bergkamp, Reisiger, Overmars. It was a ridiculous amount of talent.
Yeah.
We didn't know they were going to go on and do what they did, but yeah, I was involved in the '96. I just signed for Liverpool as well, so I was half expecting to play, to be honest. But Jack went really defensive. He had 4 full backs on the pitch and played Aldo and Castle front, and a young striker called Patrick Kluivert crushed the dream, I'm afraid. And it was hard because it was, as I said, you go through 2 years of trying to qualify. You're down to a one-off game, and to get knocked out at that stage is devastating. So it was the first of many, to be honest, because I didn't win many playoffs.
Did you get on that night? No.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Did you?
Have you not done your research?
What time? Any chance of affecting the game?
On the 51st minute. And I only knew that because I read it about 10 minutes ago. The 51st minute, I got on, and we were 1-0 down. I think Kluivert scored in the last minute as well to make it 2-0. So the 2-0 scoreline flattered them. But yeah, they were a fantastic outfit.
Yeah.
And they went on to do some great things, as you know, later on.
Yeah.
In world football, but it was disappointing. Yeah, Jack's last game as well.
You kind of knew it was Jack's last game that night from memory. It felt like the end. It was like he went down to the Cop. It was actually amazing. He went down to the Cop almost to say goodbye to the Irish fans. I guess you were watching, Hunty.
Yeah, well, I was watching actually. I remember on the night just going, "This Dutch team is amazing," and if we get anything out of the game, even at 16, but however old I was, going, we got no chance in the night. And obviously the memories in 1994 were still very fresh in our minds, and the excitement of watching was amazing, but obviously on the night.
I don't want to be critical of Jack, but I felt he picked the wrong team.
Because you weren't playing?
No, not because I wasn't playing. He went very defensive, I think, because of the attacking prowess that the Dutch held. But I always felt we were always better on the front foot rather than defending. We got the ball forward very, very quickly, and we went defensive minded. And the other thing as well, Joe, was it was Anfield. All the players, the Irish squad had played there. It was more like a home game for us. Plus, all the fans had gone over. It was an opportunity to go and take it to the Dutch. And I felt he was too defensive. Like I said, he played 4 full backs on the night.
Yeah.
And
McGrath was in midfield with Jeff.
No,
Kenner.
Paul played centre half with Babsy. He had Gary Kelly, Jeff Kenner, Dennis Irwin, and Terry Phelan with the 4 full backs. And they slotted into the team in midfield and obviously in defence. Right. And we had, like I said, Cass and Aldo up front. So it was, I felt we should have gone more attack minded, and Jack went very defensive.
Well, it's amazing now, even you're saying that, but we haven't changed.
No.
We still need to be on the front foot. Our genes, our history will tell us that we need to be on the front foot, going at teams and trying to make things happen.
Yeah, that's the exact phrase that's been used now, being on the front foot, which we'll get to. Yeah. What's your strongest memory from the 2 legs against Iran?
It'll always be qualifying. People say to me, you know, what's your favourite Irish memory? And probably, you know, 99% would probably choose the Dutch goal. But for me, it was the Iran qualifying. You know, as I mentioned before, you're not invited to a Euros or a World Cup. You've got to earn the right, and there's a lot of travelling. There's ups and downs. It's a roller coaster, isn't it? Trying to qualify. There's tears. There's relief. There's all kinds of emotions that you go through.
Yeah.
And then to qualify, it's just this overwhelming feeling of adrenaline and happiness and tears and.
Yeah. Apart from my family, that's the biggest night I've had in football, qualifying for the Euros 12. Just everything that went with it. You're playing on the streets to being qualified for the Euros. You obviously World Cup.
I got slightly disagree there. I think, you know, I've had 3 kids, and you know, at the birth of your kids is meant to be the highlight, but it wasn't. It was around.
And the night after,
fine.
I just remember little Lion Man Mumford and Sons and the ground in Crystal nightclub shaking.
Oh, is that right? Tell us more about that night. So you all went out to Crystal.
We beat, and it was literally, I remember, I'll never forget, it was Kevin Kilban actually. He just kind of become out of the squad a little bit and wasn't in it as regular as he was, and he probably wasn't going to go, and he probably knew, and he was in the background a little bit. And I remember saying to Kev, come on out, Crystal, come out, because the fans were down below, and it was more like to push him out to say goodbye almost without knowing it. And just listen, he might have gotten the squad down the line, but I think Kev knew himself he wasn't going to make it, and that, just remembering the fans react the way they did to him, and
kind of a thanks for the games you have played.
Yeah,
he played in a few that campaign.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he played in a lot, like, and had been a big part. But quickly forgotten about in football. And
so was he a bit reluctant to go out and
wait? He was, typical Kev to a certain degree.
Yeah,
didn't want the limelight, but anyway, he's on match today every Saturday night. But you know what I mean? Like.
Funny enough, you talk about like memories of qualifying. The Iran game, obviously, we couldn't drink. In Iran, so we've qualified, and obviously there was 120,000 irate Iranian fans in the stadium that night who, you know, ended up burning flags and smashing cars up and all kinds. So we were actually locked in the dressing room for a good hour and a half, and we were actually getting worried at one point. We were thinking they were trying to get to us at one point. So they kept us in the dressing room for an hour and a half, and we managed then to sneak out. It was like escape to victory. It was like we were like sneaked onto the bus straight to the airport where the plane was waiting, and then they kept us for another hour in the airport. So it kind of fell flat a bit, the adrenaline, and we were all starting to get tired and stuff. And then I remember getting on the plane and wanting to celebrate, but because we were in Iranian airspace for a good 20 minutes, we weren't allowed to have a drink. And I always remember just like the lads being a little bit bored and flat, and then it just going ping on the airplane, and it was the signal just to open the bar. Next thing it was like popping champagne corks and all kinds of it. It was the best flight I've ever had in my life, because we come back, we just got absolutely lashed. There was songs on the plane. It was, honest to God, it was a proper party at 35,000 feet. It was brilliant.
Well, I think there's a video of Kenny Cunningham singing on that flight home that we've played to him before. Kenny was a good man for a sing-song.
Well, Kenny would always start the sing-song, and you're right, it was Kenny started it, and
not even a drop of alcohol in his system.
No, Kenny doesn't drink, does he? So, but he's always good fun, and he started the sing-song, and the whole plane was up because the journos were on there and some of the fans and stuff, and it was a party playing in the end. It was great.
Well, Kenny's told us about having to be designated driver on nights out on Irish teams, and Gary Kelly like pulling his seat back and him still trying to drive the car in the middle of the night.
No, we used to get in the back, me and Gary Kelly, and put our hands over his eyes. Kenny used to be driving. It was mad.
We have a comment in from Neil McCormick who points out that Jeff Kenna was right midfield that night against Holland at Anfield.
That's why we didn't win.
Sorry, Philly O'Gorman remembers watching the Iran playoff in school. All classes were stopped, TVs were wheeled out. I remember watching it as well in a mate's house. I don't know why I was off school. Maybe it was, I don't know what time of year would it have been.
It was a night time in Iran.
No, in Ireland.
No, I mean the kick-off.
In Iran it was
in
evening,
Iran it was the evening,
It was early here.
I don't know, it must be, is it 3 or 4 hours ahead? So it would have been, it would have been, if say we kicked off at 8 o'clock, it probably would have been about 4 o'clock back in Ireland.
Something like that.
You're bunking off school, weren't you?
For some reason I was in a mate's car. But I do remember it was very quiet the last 15, 20 minutes. Like, I think Iran knew we're out. And then they scored a very late goal.
It was from a corner, And
you suddenly heard
like the 92nd minute, wasn't
something like that. But the noise, and you suddenly realised we had avoided a very hostile situation because they'd scored so late on. They were quiet the last 20 minutes. But suddenly I remember that it came as like a whoom through the TV. You suddenly realised how many people were there because the first few rows were empty. So it didn't look that full on TV. and then you just heard that noise.
Well, when we got to the ground, obviously the fans were all in the stadium as we got there, and they said to us, "Listen, we don't want you to go out and inspect the pitch."
Right.
And Ian Evans and a few of the other lads, they were like, "No, we're going to go out," and it was like a show of defiance to the fans, and we went out, and I just remember like oranges and apples and fireworks, all just like them trying to hit us with all kinds of stuff. And we went into the centre circle, and it was, the fans couldn't believe that we'd come out into this hostile atmosphere. And it was kind of like, it done us the world of good, because if we'd have gone out and played without knowing this atmosphere, we might have like been caught in the headlights. But we actually went out and sampled it, so we knew what to expect. And it played in our hands, to be honest. And
that's not dissimilar to Graham Souness against Roma in the cup final.
It was Galatasaray,
the Galatasaray thing, but in the cup final, would have been his last Liverpool Cup final, he went and walked right in front of all the Roma ultra fans pre-kick-off, and they went absolutely ballistic. But that was Souness.
The one. Do you remember the one he did with the flag?
Yeah.
Galatasaray. He just walked into the middle of the pitch and just put the flag in the middle of the pitch and just walked off.
Do you not know that, Hunty?
No, I don't.
Oh, mate,
my best case is Martin Allen going down to the Cup of Sheffield Wednesday and going down, not even anything like it, but at the time I felt like, what are we doing? Like, literally in the warm-up, we'd ran all the way down to the Cup end of Sheffield Wednesday and just stood there stretching in front of him, like, and they were going bananas. And I going, what are you doing? You're doing taking everything. Even our gaffer is silly, like, but it is what it is.
We'll have to show you the Souness flag thing, because that's right up your
It doesn't surprise me as Souness, like,
it's crazy.
He's
it's
tough.
Your only playoff experience would have been the French game in 2009. The Henri handball was the second leg. You played in the first leg, didn't get on the second leg. So that
and then the Estonia, obviously, when we qualified.
Oh, of course,
So there was two. Yeah, I had disappointment first of all, which obviously made the second one, Estonia, even better. France was difficult. To be honest, on the night of France, I was more fuming I didn't get on.
But we were playing well. We didn't need you.
Yes, questionable. Liam Lawrence tires, he does. Harsh, yes. Well, more than that, with Trapp would come on most games anyway if I didn't start. But we were doing, obviously the main thing was to qualify, and we didn't. And then it just turned to anger and disappointment.
Was that the angriest dressing room you've ever been in?
You know, no, because I just think no one really believed it could have happened to us and how it happened. And maybe Northern Ireland will go through a little bit of pain themselves now on the handball situation. But I didn't realise how bad it was. There wasn't many that did. I think when you look back to the video, Keith Andrews, Kevin Kilban had the best view of it, because they were left back and left centre half, and really in the centre half position. Shea as well. Even Paul McShane was too tight to Henri probably to realise what was going on. But they're the ones that would have been hurt. Even I don't think Dunny was that hurt at the time when it happened. So, but obviously it grows.
Let's talk about where we are now. So you made the point in your column yesterday in the Sunday Independent. You said the tactics in Copenhagen, you said, were perfect, spot on. You were fine with them. And another interesting thing you said, which you might talk to us about, is that Denmark really weren't better than us to the extent that everyone's saying. You said they did some nice, pretty fake passes that didn't do any damage, and then they just lumped it anyway. Yeah. So you were looking at some of their passes saying these are fake passes. Yeah,
fake president or whatever you want to. But literally, one or two passes at the back, we can all have them if we want to have them, and then it's a diag. It was a diag onto the centre forward's head. It wasn't. We weren't closing down. Murph was nearly playing like a central midfielder anyway, so they were allowed to pass it. We didn't squeeze them. I'd imagine it'd be totally different tomorrow night with a press. But last night we sat off, tried to suck them in. If anything from the weekend, I think we'd be most disappointed we didn't get to support Murph more and look at threat. We were so deep we couldn't get out.
Yeah.
But for sure we didn't press them as much. But they didn't hurt us. They went long and they never tried to move us. They never stood on the ball. They never tried to pass through the lines. They went direct to us.
I've a quote from Paul McGrath. I was so frustrated watching Ireland in Denmark on Saturday. I felt our players were capable of delivering so much more. He said he felt the team froze. I feel this Irish team is better than they may think they are, and they should have had the belief to get the ball down a bit more. Love to have seen McLean piling forward, Hendrick getting the ball and spraying it around. I'm a huge fan of Robbie Brady. He seemed keen to get rid of the ball as quickly as possible whenever it came near him. Basically, McGrath just really frustrated watching Saturday night.
Yeah, I'm surprised at his comments. I agree with I think we are better sometimes than what the media make us out to be.
Okay.
I think we have got some talent in the team. But you've got to manage a playoff, a two-legged playoff, even domestic level at European competitions. You've got to manage the situation and to go away from home. it's all right saying, the advantage is with us because we play the second leg at home. But if you get beat 3 or 4-0, which I have been in an away first leg, with Liverpool, we got done by Paris Saint-Germain 3-0. It's too much to claw back, even at Anfield, with the players that we had. We got it back to 3-2, and we just never got over the line. It's too much. You've got to stay in the game.
Yeah.
You've got to give yourselves the opportunity. And I always felt it. We are very, very organised, very committed and disciplined in the way we shape up and defend. We can do it very, very well. And we were always going to go away from home and make it very awkward for the Danes to score. And in their defence, I've played a lot of games in Liverpool where teams come to Anfield and drop deep and shut up shop and play narrow. You do start going from back to front in the end, just to try and win bits further up the pitch to get something that breaks for you. And we frustrated them, and that's why they did it. You can play all these fake passes at the back, I agree. It looks pretty and all that. You're not getting anywhere, really, because we were so deep. They were trying to entice Ireland out. They couldn't do it because we were disciplined.
But that's interesting, because Kenny Cunningham felt we were too deep. So you're saying, actually,
well,
it's not that we were too deep, it's that they were trying to suck us out. And
Kenny is a big believer in clean sheets, and we kept the clean sheet. So
how can you be critical of being too deep when we got the result we went for? It worked.
Yeah.
I suppose his argument was, if we had pressed up in the more, say, take the goal in Cardiff as an example. Yeah. If we had set a few traps for them,
that was a once off.
Yeah, I know, but he was saying that he felt we pressed them a bit more in Cardiff. He said we were very passive in Copenhagen, and if we had actually pressed them a bit more, it's not like they were world beaters. We could have nicked the ball higher up the pitch. And we will, we've got enough players. Then if we get the ball in their half to actually do something, so he said we never once went up with them. Like he's okay with us being deep some of the time.
We were deep,
but it was a one-off. Wasn't it?
It was a once-off, but everybody was deep. It wasn't if Darren Murphy was isolated. He come back behind the ball. He was playing as a number 10 almost. So everyone was deep and compact, which is what you want away from home in the first leg. And we have begrudges in this country. Like, what's wrong with them? Like, just
the thing about Wales, they didn't have any pace to hurt us.
Yeah.
So you can afford to play a little bit higher because you don't, you feel your centre halves have got the pace of their forward players. They're never going to get in behind you.
Yeah.
And it was a one-off game, so we pressed in the middle of the park rather than the Danes. We sat on the edge of the box, and when it went into our final third, we then pressed and won the ball and cleared it. Gradually stepped up a little bit, and then they come back. We went back a little bit, and I thought it was a perfect game plan. And possibly with a bit more quality, we might have nicked the goal. But we brought them back to Dublin, very much in the game, and that was the plan.
Yeah.
And we've succeeded in doing it. So pat on the back.
I think the result on the back. Sorry, and now the table turns a little bit. Denmark will have a bit more space to play because we will be pressing. We can't go
different.
It'll be different for them too. Their shackles will be off a little bit. The home pressure, so we'll have something different to deal with in terms of space and behind. We will press away from home.
Yeah.
At home.
If you're, we're here obviously with Stephen Hunt and Jason McAteer. If you're thinking we're suspiciously well dressed, it's because we're here with thanks to Benetti Menswear, brilliant Irish brand, and they've kitted us out, so we're looking very dapper to discuss the game on Tuesday. Facebook questions. This Irish jersey here, signed by all the players, will go to the best question asked. So here's a question in then from Richie. If things go wrong tomorrow night and we go a goal down, what are the lads' feelings on how and if we can turn it around in terms of substitutions, change of tactics? Will they have learned to be more composed after the Serbia game? There's a lot in that. So just take the initial point. The scary prospect for us tomorrow is going a goal down. Can we score 2 realistically is a big worry.
This is why Martin gets paid the money he does, because he's got to have plan B. He's got to have options off the bench that can have an impact on the game, whether it's through Wes, whether it's through Shane Long or Darren Murphy, whoever's going to come off the bench, and nobody can guess Martin's team most of the time. Yeah. So does he have options to change it? Will he have an option to go 2 up front if he doesn't go with 2 up front from the start? Personally, I would like to go 2 up front right from the start, and then maybe have a Wes Hoolan to come on, or then at least leave Shane on the bench or Murphy, someone that can have an impact. Like Darren Murphy's a striker. I don't call him an impact player really, but I would call Wes, Shane Long, that could change the game from the bench if they don't play.
I think it'll be quite tactical, to be honest. I think it'll be very much of what we've seen in Denmark from Ireland in the first half an hour. We won't want to go a goal down straight away. I think the first goal will be crucial, whoever gets it, because both teams can defend. I think if you look through the qualifiers, I think Denmark can defend as well. I think they only conceded 8 goals. We only conceded 6. So, both teams can defend. But Martin knows if we are a little bit too expansive, a little bit offer too much space to them. They've got players that can hurt you. You know, you don't want Eriksen in that little pocket pulling strings, and he'll be very wary of that. And I think we'll work our way into the game. The crowd will play its part. And I think if we get into the second half 0-0, I think that's when it'll start opening up, and that's when the options will come in of whether he goes then 2 up top. You know, we've got a bit of pace because they'll push it. If we do go a goal down, obviously we've got to score 2. You might as well go for it. You might as well change it straight away and go for it, because if you go 2 down, you're in big trouble. So
so that's slightly different maybe to what O'Neill was saying. O'Neill was saying post-match and today in his press conference, well, we'll have to do more on the ball, we'll have to be more expansive. But listening to you guys,
it's reverse psychology.
You think it's going to be sit tight as well, and he'd even take a 0-0 probably, but he's just waiting to nick.
He's already said they might score a goal. That kind of takes the pressure off the defence a little bit. They know they're going to head it and kick it and clear it, which is what Duffy does well. So it's the other thing, when we have to play a little bit, can we open up?
Can we?
Yes, we can. I think we can press them high. We can do. It depends on their striker who they play. It's always like anything. If they have a striker that runs in behind, then we're going to have to be wary of that. But if they have a big striker that they can lump it up to, then we'll eat that up all day long.
Yeah. Because Damien Duff said on Saturday, he's disappointed on Saturday. He said we never went toe to toe with them, and he said our form at the Aviva, there's no reason to think we're going to go through or take the game to them there. I don't think we're good when we take the game to teams.
No, I agree. That's why we won't.
So we'll sit deep again.
I think Martin will be very happy if he gets to the 75th minute and it's 0-0.
Right.
And then he's got a decision to make. Then you're looking at tiredness, fatigue setting in.
They'll go deeper as well as the game goes on, because they'll be happy to go to extra time, make it as nervous. The longer the game goes on 0-0, they're going to feel a bit more comfortable with it, and the pressure will be off them.
Yeah.
But I think we will play higher. I think we will press a bit more aggressively than we did Saturday night. That's just natural because we're at home.
Yeah. David O'Donoghue says there was a lot at stake in Copenhagen. You can understand why the team set up the way it did. Tomorrow will be a different story. I expect the lads to manage the game and to really go for it in the last 20 minutes. See, it's very hard to know, because obviously if it's 0-0 with 20 minutes to go, I appreciate a goal for us is big, but a goal for them in the last 20 wins them the game. Yeah. Like, I wonder if it's 0-0 with 20 minutes to go, rather than us thinking, oh, we've got a great chance here, do we suddenly think we really can't concede now? Like, we could be dropping very deep last 20 because we just can't concede.
We'll be aggressive early on, I think. Cautiously aggressive.
Okay. Controlled
aggression. Yeah. Everything that comes with the manager's UEFA B, UEFA A license will all come out in the first 10 minutes before we go out. Like, so I think we'll be on the front foot for sure, and then we'll manage the game. We have experienced players that have been in the major tournament now. If they get there, then they'll obviously be in a greater place.
Who do you want to start? So the changes, you presume Callum O'Dowd is out and Myler comes back in. That's a no-brainer.
He's going to come back in.
So other issues, does Shane Long come back in? Does Wes start? Didn't see any game time obviously on Saturday. What would you like to see?
I think if you get it to 0-0, that's when the likes of Wes and Shane Long then come on. Okay. Real fresh pace, creativity. Yeah. You've got with them two players. I don't think he will make many changes, apart from the Myler one will obviously come in with his experience and his quality. I think he'll play 4-5-1. I think he'll stay that system. And I really believe he'll want to get it to, obviously he'd love to go in front as early as he could, but if it goes 0-0, I think up to 70, 75 minutes, I think he'd be really happy, because then he has got them two players to come on and offer something different. And like I said before, and once he's played, fatigue in these games, mental fatigue sets in because the pressure of the whole scenario, that plays its part. They've travelled, there's a bit of travelling involved as well. The pitch, fatigue physically. So you've got pace with Long and you've got creativity with Houlihan. Yeah. They're great assets to bring on.
They've got to be ready. They have to be ready. Yeah. It's far too easy to sit on the bench and watch the game. They need to be up to speed. 15-20 minutes could be vitally important for the team, and not spit the dummy out and be ready to go.
And you got to think of this team that got that 0-0. Yeah. Very organised. They've known the jobs. They would have worked on set pieces. They would have, you start making 3 or 4 changes, and then all of a sudden, players might just switch off, might know the jobs and that. Yeah.
See, that's an issue of debate over how much they're doing in training and how organised they really are, because
don't be doing a lot.
But they don't seem to do much at any stage under O'Neill. It seems they don't know the team beforehand. People wonder how much are they.
You don't buy the same car, do you? So when you get a manager, you get different things, and whether they do or not.
What's your sense? What have you
sense
heard
or not sense?
Grapevine
sense is they go out and they go and win the game.
No, come on. What have you heard? Are they doing much in training? Are they going through patterns? Are they working on set pieces? Or is it all a bit old school, Brian Clough kind of school?
Of course there is old school in there. But there's 4 or 5 coaches there with him as well. You'd imagine that they're all having their little bit of impact with him. Whether that's, okay, marking, I've noticed on the video that you're marking him too tight.
Yeah.
Be careful with it.
So that is
little bits of information like that can be as good as having an hour on the pitch of setting up set pieces and Aidan McGeady switching off for Trapattoni for 10 minutes and Trapattoni having heart attacks.
Yeah.
But that's just different ways of coaching. I'm sure you'll have had different managers as well.
So you're saying under Trapp, the likes of McGeady get bored silly and switch off?
We're all bored silly. But he used to switch off a little bit more than the rest of it. And his body language would be, I'm switched off here. Do you know what I mean?
And Trapp would go nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you think under O'Neill, because it doesn't make sense to a lot of us listening to not do that much work on the training ground during the week. But you're saying
you can do it with
there's
video.
an upside to not doing that much work.
You can do it with videos, or you can say, oh, actually, how come he become available on a corner? Who is marking him? There's different ways of doing it.
And is that happening? Do we know?
I don't know. I generally, I could have easily rang a few of the boys today, picked the team, but I wouldn't put them in a situation to put them in that I don't think it's fair on them. So
what have they said generally about the amount of work that has been done in camp across the week?
Very difficult to know.
Hunty,
come on.
You're holding out on me now.
I'm not. There's different styles, isn't there? There's no right style. There's Mourinho and then there's Klopp.
Yeah.
Klopp closes down, presses. Mourinho sits in, and there's rights. And it's irrelevant once we win games and we play on the front foot.
Exactly. Yeah,
did you like finding out a team late?
I think media these days are too easy to find out things. Jack, what did Jack do in training? Would you know?
No, I don't have a clue. You know.
Would you have heard?
No.
Yeah, I was there, yeah.
Well, obviously you've heard now, because you're saying to me, you're kind of instigating that we don't do much.
You hear that through the grapevine, that there's not much being done.
What are we not doing much of? What do you think we're not doing much of?
Work on set pieces, work on patterns, work on...
If you were a manager, we've totally flipped the interview here, but that's all with it. What would you like to see us do more of?
Well, you see, okay, now we're talking. So I would like to know why we're not doing more on the ball, because I've seen this in too many games where centre half has the ball, our fullback has the ball, and it doesn't look to me like a team who know what they're trying to do. Like, I don't care if
we've got no
shape pattern,
game plan.
Yeah, we score goals randomly, which can work, but it's a bit random. I don't see the method.
So playing out from the back, let's get the tactics board out here and playing out from the back. You could normally say, right, 2 centre halves split Liverpool way, centre midfielder comes in the gap, fullbacks are pushed on.
Yeah.
No, we don't.
No,
we don't do it.
Yeah.
But if you look at that from a tactical and a footballing point of view, they probably only pass it out from the back once. They still split every time, but most of the time they just squeeze up together. But generally, the only time I've seen it recently is Reading. How they're so flamboyant with their passing, they're ridiculously good at it.
But we play very conservatively. We play very compact, deep, narrow, play on the break. We don't press high. I don't think. I think you say don't press high. We don't press in the final like a Liverpool would press on the edge of the opponent's box.
Yeah.
We don't do that.
Yeah.
Like Wales, we pressed on the halfway line. Against Denmark, we pressed probably on the edge of our box. We all pressed. That's how deep we were.
Yeah.
But that's how we play. We play on the break. We play very organised, compact football. So it might look like they don't know what they're doing, but that's what they do. And they play percentages. I like to think Martin is a percentage manager, where he puts balls in an area where we have a good percentage chance of winning it. Very much like Jack. Jack was very back to front, but he loved the diag, he loved the big man, and our job was literally get it forward as quick as we can and squeeze and try and win the ball in high areas. Win the ball back, put a cross in the box for the big man who made his way into the box.
Yeah.
And the little man, if they knocked down, the little man was there, Aldo, whoever it was, Robbie Keane, to pick up the bits.
Yeah.
It worked for Jack.
If we do change our philosophy and our whole FEI DNA or whatever, we're going to take 6 years of playing that way, of really passing out from the back, really over-exaggerating our passing game. And it might take 6 years before you see any success. I think our fans deserve to be at tournaments.
I agree. I don't expect us, by the way, to suddenly start playing like Barcelona.
No.
I'm not saying that at all.
Yes,
I
agree.
don't mind if we go direct.
Yeah.
But
Jack Charlton arguably had probably the best Irish team there's ever been.
Now, he should have played a bit more football.
Well, there you go. There's the argument. But he had his philosophy, and it worked for Jack. I remember signing for Liverpool, where you couldn't give the ball away. It was sacrilege to give the ball away. You had to keep it.
Yeah.
And I remember playing for Ireland, knocking the ball inside to Andy Townsend on the halfway line. Jack pulled me at half time. He went, "You ever play that ball again, you'll never play for me.
Yeah.
Ever again." And he said, I just want you to kick it into that space ahead of you and chase it.
Yeah.
And that's literally what we had to do.
Yeah.
And then I go back to Liverpool, and if I tried that at Liverpool, what Jack wanted me to do, I'd get dropped by Roy Evans and Ronnie Moran. So, I found it very difficult picking between the two. But we had arguably some fantastic footballers, Roy Keane, Andy Townsend, myself was from Liverpool, Babsy was at Liverpool, Dennis Irwin, Gary Kelly from Leeds, players who could really, really play. And Jack just didn't want us on the ball at all.
You talked there, interestingly, about the subs having to be tuned in, ready to go. You were good at that. Like, I would say that was one of the best aspects of your game. It's not easy being a sub. So what were you doing during a game to be ready when you come on?
I think, first of all, it's the love of playing for Ireland. You think, okay, I need to be ready here. So
it was different, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Being sub for Ireland and being sub for your club.
What's it like being sub for your club? Crap.
Horrible.
Miserable.
Club football.
Long term, like you're there every week. It takes a good mentally strong person.
I was never like that. I wasn't there every week.
Hunty, what's that like?
I had a full season, but I broke him.
Did that.
I broke the guy playing in my position, and he buggered off to America. So it worked for me in the end. But no, you have to watch the game. You have to be active in your warm up, because sometimes you come on as a sub and you are breathing out your backside. You are struggling to get into the games hard. So you have to go run down the sideline. You might look like a busy little twat. Excuse me language if it's not. But you have to be active and up and down the touchline and watching the game and be ready.
Yeah.
It's not easy though.
So you would try and get your second win before you come. It's not possible, surely.
Of course it is.
You could get your second
win. You look like a right idiot, but it is possible.
Right.
You got to do some doggies and you got to do...
I never got it. Yeah. I always got it in the game.
Most players seem to come on and get their second win on the game.
But I only had 15 minutes, sometimes 20 minutes, and I always had an impact.
Yeah, no, I know.
So
we used to love you coming on. It was like, down the wing, you always had a big impact on the game. So we need that tomorrow.
Simplicity.
The most common question coming in is, surely Wes has to play. Everybody wants Wes to start.
When is Dunphy going off the TV?
No, I'm in that camp. That's not it is a Dunphy thing, but that's a fair question. Anytime Wes plays, we're not a better team every time he plays?
I think it's a gamble to start Wes tomorrow.
Okay.
I do.
Why? What's your thinking?
I just think if you'd open up and go a goal behind, I just think the mountain will be too hard to climb. They only have to score once. We have to score twice.
So you think we're more likely to concede if Wes is on the pitch?
It'll be more open. And
if he closed down as well, he's not as good as Robbie Brady or Hendricks at getting into people and recovery. But what I would say as well on that one, sorry, it's the impact he might have as a sub that's probably greater than him starting as well.
Yeah,
what he could do.
You've got to weigh that up, the impact he has starting or the impact he has coming on as a sub. Then the argument's thrown in, well, we might be 1 or 2 down. Then you throw him on, he didn't have enough time.
Yeah.
And if you'd started with him, we might have gone 1 up.
Yeah.
There's always that argument. But I agree with Unti. It's the impact that you feel he would have starting or coming on. I think coming on bigger.
Viva would erupt when he comes on if we need a goal.
We might need a goal to get back in it. He'll come on at some stage,
keep the ball,
and
maybe to win it, or to keep hold of the goal we've got.
You think the game will be too frantic and too tight and conservative for him to have a big impact if he starts? You think let the game open up a bit when he?
Well, if we are going on the front foot,
then
there's more legs in a Brady, a Hendricks, to get in the bell people to upset him, to allow us to win free kicks in our half, to allow us to get set piece goal.
All right, I'm in the Dunphy camp there, but I'll bow to your.
Would you start Wes? Would you?
Yeah, I just think he's the only.
What you thinking?
My thinking is we have enough legs around him. I would say, Wes, don't worry too much about sprinting and tiring yourself out. Sit in behind Daryl Murphy or Shane Long, whoever's playing, and everybody in the team try and fizz the ball into Wes's feet in the centre circle, and I want runners off.
That's the thing as well. You have to get it to him.
Well, true, and that's an issue sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes he has to come really deep to get it. Yeah. But even if he's getting the ball midway between our penalty box and their halfway line, I would still think Wes will find a pass. Look at the goal against Austria. Like, if Wes isn't on the pitch, we don't play.
There's a time and a place for that.
I know, but you wouldn't think
if
Austria would be
coming deep to get the ball.
Yeah,
as fantastic as he may look on the ball in that position,
and he will do, won't he?
He'll come and get
it because that's the kind of player he is.
How good is the ball? How good is the player he's given it to? To play the next pass.
Austria, Vienna, James McLean. Wes to James McLean.
Now you've got James McLean in a forward position.
I have him running on
and Shane Long.
I have him
and you've got Wes on the pitch and Robbie Brady on the pitch.
My plan, we win 5-0.
That's why you're sitting there and not doing Martin.
Look, I understand the pragmatism. I'm just telling you what the most common question is,
Yep.
So we've about 5-10 minutes to go here, tops. People are wondering about penalties as well. So the Danish coach said they haven't bothered practicing. Martin O'Neill said today that we have.
Do you believe any football manager? What they say?
50% of the time. Maybe they have, maybe they haven't. O'Neill said Ireland have.
Why wouldn't they?
The football received wisdom is, well, you can't replicate the pressure, so there's no point.
I agree with that, like.
Yeah. So do I.
It's a lot easier in training.
Even Gareth Southgate was saying today, we've want to replicate a game at Wembley, but then you're giving away your style and everything else. Mentally strong people should take penalties.
Yeah, so were there lads who were absolutely brilliant at penalties in training and would never even think of putting their hand up?
Yeah, me.
Would you not?
No.
And could you
Although I have.
No wonder he looked at me when I said mentally strong. He gave me a little look there, like, shut up on me. Talented players, like.
No, I'll tell you what was funny in the World Cup against Spain, where we just used to mess around taking penalties at the end. It was something you did, wasn't it? Quinny would do this thing where he'd bet you a tenner, and you'd have 3 penalties, and if he saved one, you'd owe him a tenner. That was the bet. Right. And he was a good goalie, Quinny. He would always save one of the 3.
Yeah.
So we used to mess around doing that. So that was our practice, really.
And did you try and say to each other, let's take this seriously and try and...
Well, you wanted to win a tenner, so of course you would take it seriously.
But did you try and create a pressure environment, or was there lots of slagging and messing?
The tenner meant a lot more, and the banter. In terms of pressure, you'd still feel it because of the crack you'd have with the lads.
You could never replicate that 20,000 in that stand, behind you, or the pressure of, what goes through your head. That walk, I missed one in the playoff semi for Sunderland, and the walk from the halfway line to that penalty spot, it's like walking through quicksand. Yeah. And the emotions that you go through, it's horrible, innit?
I'd say it's out of body experience almost.
It's weird, yeah. But that because you're saying to yourself, the advice that you get given is you pick your spot, don't change it.
Yeah.
And I tell you now, right, you change your mind about 20 times. And there's all kinds go through your head. But that penalty shootout against Spain in the World Cup in 2002, honest to God, right, it was like, Niall Quinn's 6'4", and when Mick said, "Do you want a penalty?" he turned into 4'6". Yeah. He just shrunk Quinn. He was like, he just went. It's just, it's whoever is, one day, like you said, one day you in that situation, the manager could go, "Do you fancy it? You've played well, you feel okay, you're like, yeah, I'm up for it." And then there could be another moment in a different game where he says, "Do you fancy it?" And you think, "Oh, I don't fancy it." No.
Maybe that just comes to very talented players, because I always wanted to.
Did you always want to take one?
I always wanted to take one. I was just maybe eager all my life. Yeah.
Luis Garcia, like that. He wanted to take the penalty in the Champions League final.
Right.
And with Xavi Alonso, he takes the ball, and he said, "Cara," just turns round to him and goes, "No, not you," like that. And he turned round to Benitez, Garcia, and he went like that, and Benitez went and pointed at Xavi. And gave it to Xavi, who missed it, but he scored the rebound.
And then was Garcia a good penalty taker or just deluded?
He would tell you he was the best.
But was he good?
Was he good?
I don't remember him.
Obviously looked very pretty taking it, but...
Yeah, he looked $1 million.
Yeah.
And so, but if a manager says to you, "Do you fancy it?" you must feel a certain pressure to go, "I should be brave here and say, yeah, I fancy it," even if you don't. Like,
no,
Sunderland,
it takes a braver person to say, "No, I don't," as well sometimes.
I'd say so, yeah. Because it's kind of frowned upon. Yeah. Did you miss your one at Sunderland?
Yeah, saved.
Was it a good
miss is when you miss.
Was it a good penalty?
He went the right way. If he'd gone the other way,
how close to the post was it?
No, it was a great save, yeah.
Any penalty scored.
I read up on it, right? Yeah, and there's a theory that if you're right-footed, when you're in a pressurised situation, your subconscious takes over, and they say that the easiest way to strike a ball is across your body, So if you in this pressurised situation, your body will want to do that.
Want to hook it in.
Yeah.
I interviewed Matt.
So it's something like 70% of penalties in high pressures go that way with a right footer. Right?
I interviewed Matt Letizia, who was obviously brilliant at penalties, just missed the one, and he said his technique always, and it ties in with your point about don't change your mind being nonsense. He said always he started off in his run up and he was going to put it in the far corner, the right hand side, open his body. But if the keeper moved last minute, it was very easy to hook the ball into the other corner. So that was his technique. So anytime he had put it in the side you're talking about, he had changed his mind in the run up. Otherwise, it was
obviously he's very talented too.
Did you do a Aldo used to stutter, didn't he? Like
yeah. No, I was picking a spot. I'd practiced the week before every time and then stay that way.
Best penalty taker I've ever seen, Kevin Sheedy.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah, smashed it left foot. Just smashed it top corner every time.
Yeah. And if you struggle down the middle,
just. Did you ever do it? What's it called? Panenka.
I used to hit one down the middle, but not.
You never
soft.
used to do that?
No, never.
It's too much of a risk.
But when you think about it,
the
slower the better, because the further the keeper has dived, if he is, but nah, my balls were never that big enough.
David Moyes, thanks for the image of your balls.
Thanks, the image now I'm left with.
Wow. David Moyes, actually, when he was manager, would this is what I've heard, I don't know if it's true, but he'd get everyone in, so he'd decide on who's taking the penalties, and he would get everyone to tell the group what way you're going. So it'd be, Hunty, what are you doing with yours? Bottom left. And he'd say, right, do that no matter what, and if you miss, it's my fault. That was his way of trying to take the pressure off the players. But I mean, you're just going to feel pressure no matter what. Can you imagine having to take one tomorrow to keep us in with a chance of going to the World Cup? Who are our penalty takers? Brady?
Wow.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Myler. Do you know why I can't understand why they don't take penalties? And because all they do is strike balls all day, isn't it? Yeah. Goalkeepers.
Yeah. Harry Arter as well. Yeah, goalkeepers are the best, probably.
They strike the ball the best. The goal kick, they had all the goal kicks and the passes out and stuff.
So do footballers kick it all the time.
Yeah, but goalkeepers, like,
you're kicking the ball too.
Really,
if they're going to go for firm and pick a side, then you think goalkeepers will be
smash it.
Yeah. Who are other penalty takers? We've got Brady. We've got Myler. Is Hendrick a good penalty taker?
Arter, yeah.
Do you know?
See, I'd give it to Stephen Ward.
Okay, Ward, yeah.
Mentally.
If Shane Long's on the pitch, here's the one.
He'll want one.
Shane Long hasn't scored since February. Yep. I don't know how his confidence is. He kind of has to take one, does he?
The longer he goes without a goal, the closer he becomes to scoring a goal. Possibly.
Mind blown.
No, I didn't even get that.
Would you?
Yep.
Long will step up and take one.
Yeah. He wouldn't hesitate
anyway. Forward as well, isn't he? You'd expect
that's
him.
what I mean. A bit of pressure to do it. Yeah.
Now, having said that, Kevin Doyle was never. He scored a few early on, and he missed a couple at Reading. And I was like, no, I'm not having this. I jeopardised our friendship to grab the ball off him. I know I did. But I still grabbed it off him on the day and scored, luckily, against Liverpool, actually.
In which, that was just a penalty in normal time?
Yeah, right. Yeah. But that was 0-0.
I heard a question yesterday. It was, I might be getting it wrong, but I know the answer. Which players never missed a penalty in the Premier League, or it was the last 10 years?
I heard that yesterday.
Do you hear it?
Yeah.
Do you know what it is?
How many has he taken? It can't be someone who's only
like
taken
loads, like penalty taker for his team. Although he's not this season.
Go on.
Torre, yeah, Torre.
Yeah, Torre.
Oh, yeah.
Never missed a penalty.
He's laid back as can be.
Own on Twitter. I'll get some more questions out because we're taking your last few questions. The winner gets this Irish jersey here, signed by all the current squad, as we sit here in our fancy Benetti suits.
It's nice, isn't it?
Very nice, yeah.
I don't like the way you say fancy. Because it's everyday wear for people as well. Like, just because you dress scabby sometimes doesn't mean the whole world has to dress. It's nice gear. Like.
This is the best I've ever looked.
Even on your wedding day, you do
and even the Irish boys look well. Like,
it's everyday use for Hunty. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Jason looks 10 years younger, not 10 years older. What's
Benjamin Button, I am. You seen that film?
Do you moisturise?
I do actually, yeah. I am a modern man.
Do you, Hunty?
What did he say about me?
Well, look, your hair went grey
10 years older.
Quickly.
The reason I look 10 years younger is because I'm sitting next to Hunty.
Do you think if you hadn't been dyeing your hair,
head and shoulders,
do you think it would have counted
Washing
against you? Do you think if you hadn't dyed your hair, it would have counted against your genuine?
1,000,000%.
Really?
Yeah, I would have been grey at 32, I reckon.
And that would have been
full on.
Managers would have said, he's
yeah,
gone.
people.
You there?
Yeah.
Did you?
From about 27, 28.
Did you?
Yeah.
Wow.
But it would have been people sitting in the stand, scouts, and I see it now from going to games. They judge people very much on appearance as well and how they look, how they run. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's the way it is, you know. So, some final points then. Leaving our hearts aside, we all obviously are desperate for Ireland to get
questions.
to. Well, hang on a second. I have to get some. Well, okay. Last question.
I'll ask. There was a few. I'm enjoying myself, and this is up for grabs anyway.
We're nearly done. Pip O'Sullivan.
And you look $1 million. So you
that's
need the
true.
airtime.
Let's keep this
going. The longer you're on,
Clark Kent and all that.
You get some work off the back of this, Clark Kent. Yeah.
Have you got a missus? You've got a half decent chance now of getting one after this.
Well, the glasses go brilliant.
Oh dear. Pip O'Sullivan says, "I just want to get to World Cup with the players that are coming through at the higher levels. We could be waiting a while. If we don't qualify this time around." Slightly pessimistic on the talent coming through. There you go. David Myler has to start tomorrow. How important can he be? Very, I suppose.
That's not winning. That question.
That's you'd want to try again if you want to win the jersey, I think. Georgie on Twitter, what's the key to winning the game tomorrow? How do you go?
Patience.
Patience, okay. Does Wes play tomorrow? Not according to these two. Jimmy Allen on Facebook was in Brussels for that playoff with Belgium. A great trip. But Jesus, it rained like nothing on earth.
Yeah, it did, yeah.
Met a few legends, in brackets he has nameless, in the hotel after. Had a great night.
You're panicking now, aren't you?
The one thing, even though we lost quite a few of the playoffs, I was involved in. I think I was involved in 4 or 5. I won 1. We celebrated like we qualified. That was the only good thing about it.
Yeah.
Was it the Turkey? Turkey when Cass punched the centre half, wasn't it?
This is last game of the big fight,
And Tony Hickey, the security, ran on and got Roy off the pitch. Of all the players, just got Roy.
Where's Roy? Where's Roy?
It was like Alex had rang up and gone, get Roy off the pitch. Like, get him off. And we were just getting battered.
Hearts aside, be brutally pragmatic and analytical here. What's the most likely result tomorrow? Denmark to go through or Ireland?
I don't think it'll be high scoring.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a very I like that word, pragmatic. I learned what it was about a month ago and kept using it in every interview.
That's a pragmatic question.
Yes, I think it'll be a pragmatic approach by both managers. I do actually think it'll be a pragmatic approach by both managers. I think the patience is the key. It will be, I think it'll be a 1. We'll either get done 2 or we'll win 1. Okay. And I think we'll win 1.
So for you, first goal is the winner?
Yes.
We score first, it'll be, right lads, everyone back, we're parking the bus kind of a thing?
We are brilliant. Even the Holland game, when I scored, the last 25 minutes was the best defending of a team I've ever been involved with. We fought everything with our... we did, didn't we? We had that. We got that ability.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, we all fight for each other. And I think that's a testament to the team spirit we have and the closeness as players we are. Yeah. We just didn't want to let each other down. Yeah. And they've got that, this team.
It's only 35 minutes before you mentioned that Holland game. Good.
I just hope
not the one away, not the one at all.
I just hope nothing silly happens or a penalty that wasn't a penalty and a decision is made. Once we keep it tight, we'll...
Jason's point, if we go 1 up, he thinks we hang on. If we concede, they probably nick another. Is that how you see it going as well?
I think it'll be 0-0. I think.
Okay.
I'd like to think we'll nick a goal. But if we are chasing it, we're dangerous. We're vulnerable when we do chase the game.
Yeah.
I think it might be extra time penalties.
If it goes to extra time, I presume both teams really get nervous and just...
Okay, I'm going to test you.
Yeah.
Do away goals go after extra time?
Yeah. They have 120 minutes to get an away goal. Yeah. So I think if it goes to extra time, we suddenly get very nervous.
It counts as well?
Yeah, it's an away goal.
Okay. Extra time goes dead quick as well, doesn't it? It's like half an hour, but it's not. Well, it is, but for you, it feels like it's 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Big night ahead.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Okay. A big thank you. We're pretty much done here to Benetti for getting on board today and giving us a very nice gear. I've never looked better. You can check out Benetti for more details. They're obviously the suit sponsor for
I've got to be honest.
Well, go on.
I like my gear. Right. I would wear this. Not that I'm a good advert, but I would definitely wear this gear. I think this is really nice.
You look great.
Yeah, well, I've been fortunate enough to I've been sponsored by Benetti a couple of times, and
why?
Because obviously, look,
but you,
and I like it. Generally, I wear it at home and I wear it to games and stuff. They don't believe my transformation.
You stole a show.
I think it looks best on me. That's up to Benetti. The best comment of the last 45 minutes is from Kieran O'D. Kieran, you've won a signed Ireland jersey.
What was the question?
Never mind the jackets. Joe's socks steal the show. Kieran,
that's not a question. That's a fact.
Look, JP just picked that to have a dig at me.
Oh, okay.
That's all that's happened there. So that's pretty much just. Are we pretty much done here? This now we're done. We're done here at number 22 in Dublin. My thanks to Jason McAteer and to Stephen Hunt. Lads, enjoy the game tomorrow. Hopefully there's a World Cup in Russia to come. Yeah, there's a lot at stake here. I mean, it's a big one. So here's hoping. We're off the ball 7 o'clock. We're going to have the game live, by the way. If you can't make it to a TV, we have the game live, so you can listen to it with ourselves. And we're done here, and we'll see you again soon. Good luck.